Running a Fever, Episode 9. It's beautiful, this stretch.
I believe this is day 9. Running a Fever, Episode 9, hopefully. It's good when you don't remember what number it is, I think. It means I've got a lot of episodes and a lot of time sharing my journey. This thing is, working out to be hopefully a long-term deal. 9 days of running is going to be great. Hydration report. I don't know why I need to ramp up with hydration. It's not like it takes a lot of effort so much to drink more water, but I think it's just that I'm not used to drinking as much water. It's interesting. People have told me in the past that when you start exercising, you start wanting to eat better food and do other things that are healthy. Just naturally, your body wants that. I've been drinking water at work. I usually have a cup of coffee and then some type of soft drink later in the day, like a Dr. Pepper or a Coke or a diet something. Almost never water, but the last couple of days I've been drinking water. I'm back on my liquid diet, as I mentioned yesterday. Did that again today. Hopefully these habits will all tie together and make something good happen for me. I'm not as much concerned about the weight and that being a goal, except that I'm concerned about my ability, my tendency towards getting injured, and that's, I think, somewhat tied to my weight. I have done some more research on warmups and talked to a friend of mine, and basically he's a career coach, athletic coach, and he's done some running, but all the information that I'm getting says that walking is the best warm-up. He said today, walk for half a mile. I can do that. That's what I've been doing anyway, and I think that'll work just fine. I pushed my distance a little bit yesterday. Today I'm going to a different part of the course, trying to do for a while, and I finally found out exactly where to turn to get into the next part of the course, starting at the marina, which is where I ended up last time. And I still didn't walk 2 miles complete. It was 1.85 or something like that, but pretty close. And my friend also said stretching is good for after the workout because it helps you to avoid the soreness associated with all of the bad things that are released when you work out. Lactic acid, basically, that causes the soreness, and stretching will help work some of that out after the run. Before the run, not so much. We talked about how dynamic stretching is now recommended more than static. If they call static, well, I would call it static if it's not dynamic. But the other kind of stretching, where you just basically hold a pose, hold a stretch for 30 seconds, can actually be damaging, apparently, and it can actually not increase your chances of injury rather than decreasing them. So I'm going to kind of avoid that kind of stretching. I think maybe a little dynamic, where you wave your arms a little bit and kick your legs a little bit, but not stretching and holding the stretch. I don't know that the strides that I've been doing right before I go into the run are helping that much. I didn't wear extra clothes today, although it's about 10 degrees warmer today than it was yesterday. We'll see. It's always different when I get out of the car. There's a breeze, and this is right next to a lake. I think that causes it to be cooler than the surrounding area. Another thing that my friend suggested was that exercise in general is a good way to stave off depression. It helps prevent depression or make that less likely, which is good. It makes sense. So you feel good after you exercise. I do. And even though it's difficult while I'm doing it, it feels good afterwards. And podcasting is making me more motivated to exercise than I have been in the past. And I've been able to keep it up. It's been not quite 2 weeks, week and a half with 3 days off, on the right track. Hydration update. I don't think I ever finished that. So I drank a whole 20 ounces prior to working out. Drank 20 ounces prior to working out and planning to drink at least 40 ounces after the workout. So at this point, I'm starting to run out of water containers, and I'll have to work something out there. But try to keep them clean. I can hand wash them. Anyway, suffice it to say that, and I think the reason I had asked this before about why I'm having to ramp up my water consumption. And I think the reason is I just don't like to drink water that much. But I'm drinking it now. I'm drinking it even at work. So here I am at the lake, and it looks like I'm going to have an awesome picture for you guys. So take a look at the picture on the website if you don't see it elsewhere, runningafever.com. Here we go. Yeah, feeling pretty good. It's not too warm, not too cool. Breezy, but not windy. Got a couple of good pictures. Been just taking pictures of the moon lately, but I got a good picture of a couple of angles of the lake. May share those today or over the next couple of days. So I'm doing my walking warm-up. The marina starts at the half-mile point. That's the mile marker, half mile, 5.5 or something like that. When I get to the zero, the starting point, I guess, then I will have done my required half-mile walking warm-up. And like I said, it's beautiful. This stretch, I'm going the same way the same direction on the trail or on the course that I usually do, but further along. So this stretch goes right by the water. I mean, down there's a little grass, there's a bank right to the left as I'm walking along, and green grass, some white rocks, and then water. It's a really nice view. I feel like I've expended a lot of energy. Car tips. Welcome to the car tips portion of the show. Let your car warm up for a full minute before you start driving it. This will allow the oil to be pumped into the engine so that it is well lubricated when you start for real. Okay, that concludes the car tips section of Running a Fever, episode 9. The walk today, the run today, I'm going to start calling them runs because the walking is just a warm-up. So the run today was much more picturesque. I did take 2 photos. There were plenty more opportunities to take. There's a bridge with kind of like a spillway fountain type thing and rocks, and I went into the woods after I was going around the lake, and that was pretty cool and just looked really beautiful. And I'm really glad that we have that kind of place here. So if I continue going that way, and I'm planning to, I expect that we'll have plenty of good pictures for the podcast and the website. Look forward to that. Well, you can't hear me at all now because of the car noise climbing the hill. So I didn't stretch, or I haven't stretched yet, and I'm having a little problem with the cool down section. According to my Gear Fit, I worked out for about 31 minutes, I think. I'm not sure how far I went. I tried to go 2 miles, and I did that based on the mile markers. And it's not taking terribly much longer to go these longer distances. A big part of that might be because I am running part of it, and I'm running more and more each day, even though the length of the workout is increasing on a daily basis. And I think today I ran more than 90 seconds. That was my goal for today. But I'm not looking at my watch to time my run. Basically, I just estimated that when I take 4 steps, that's a second. And so I'm taking 4 steps and counting that as a second. Plus, today, I think I got confused and probably ran for an additional 20 seconds because I just lost count. It will probably get better if I can do it by distance. I think that'll work better. Do a quarter mile today and for a week, and then half a mile, and it seems like that would be easier. We're going to try it later, and we're going to find out if it's easier. Also, another reason that I might be going faster is I'm trying to do the cool down, because remember, it doesn't matter if you're running or walking. You do the same amount of work, you burn the same amount of calories. Your heart rate is kind of important in fitness, and you'll notice that your resting heart rate will come down over time. I don't generally wear my wrist workout wonder when I'm sleeping because it's usually recharging, but I can probably get away with doing that once in a while, and that will be a good way to check my resting heart rate, because I don't have to actually look at it. It just, it monitors your heart rate periodically, and then it will show you over the 24 hours of the day, it will show you the minimum, the maximum, and the average heart rate. And that's what I have. I think I'm putting that in. I'll put that in the stats if I'm not already putting that into the stats in the blog posts. It's definitely in my spreadsheet that I'm using to sort of track performance, and I get that just by looking at S-Health, because I have a Samsung product. I wish, as much as I'm talking about Samsung products, that they would sponsor the show, but I don't expect that to happen anytime soon. But that's what's going on. So I look at that on my phone. It's easier to look at than the watch, and I can get all the stats from there by date. And I'm not sure how long it keeps them for, but I think at least a month. But long enough, definitely, for me to take them down and put them in a spreadsheet. And there's not much more to say, so I think I'm going to end it there. So keep the fever.